High above Earth's atmosphere, the Galactic Federation's most sophisticated stealth vessel maintained its vigilant watch. Commander Zaraval, a veteran observer from the ancient Archean species, studied the holographic displays with growing concern. Her mission had been simple: monitor the primitive species known as humans as they took their first stumbling steps into space. But what she witnessed instead sent tremors of unease through her crystalline form. Another quantum signature detected, Commander, reported her sensor officer, Rendtho. This one's even stronger than the last. Zaraval's iridescent eyes narrowed as she examined the data. The humans weren't supposed to be capable of this. Their civilization had only recently achieved basic spaceflight, their technology still reliant on crude chemical rockets and primitive digital systems. Yet here they were, manipulating quantum states with a precision that rivaled some of the Federation's most advanced research facilities. "Show me the temporal comparison," she ordered, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of experience. The holographic display shifted, revealing a startling acceleration in human technological development. What should have taken centuries had somehow been accomplished in mere decades. The source of this unprecedented advancement appeared to be a research facility in what the humans called the American Southwest. Their primitive internet networks referred to it as Project Breakthrough, though its true nature remained carefully guarded. Whatever they had discovered there had catalyzed a cascade of innovations that defied conventional development patterns. "Commander," Rendtho's voice carried an unusual note of urgency. "We're detecting a new energy signature. It's unlike anything in our database." The holographic display transformed, showing a massive underground chamber where humans in protective suits worked around a device that seemed to bend the very fabric of reality around it. The machine wasn't just manipulating quantum states, it was harnessing them in ways the Federation had only theorized possible. Zaraval felt her crystalline structure vibrate with tension. In all her centuries of observation, she had never seen anything like this. The humans weren't just advancing, they were leapfrogging entire stages of technological development. "Prepare a priority transmission to the Council," she commanded. "Classification: Omega Prime." Her crew froze. An Omega Prime classification hadn't been used in over a millennium. It signaled a fundamental threat to the galactic order itself. As her communications officer began encoding the transmission, Zaraval composed her report with careful precision. The Council needed to understand exactly what they were facing. The humans had somehow cracked the quantum barrier, but more importantly, they were implementing their discoveries at a pace that defied all known models of technological advancement. The implications were staggering. A species that could progress this rapidly, that could translate theoretical breakthroughs into practical applications almost immediately, represented either the greatest opportunity or the greatest threat the Federation had ever encountered. Deep beneath the desert surface, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the quantum core, its ethereal glow casting strange shadows through the reinforced chamber. As the project's lead physicist, she had overseen the development of what her team simply called the Bridge, a device that could not only observe but manipulate quantum states across unprecedented distances. "Power levels are holding steady," reported her assistant, Dr. James Rodriguez. "The quantum field is stable at 99.8% efficiency." Sarah nodded, allowing herself a small smile. They had done it. After years of setbacks, failures, and breakthroughs, they had finally achieved what the theoretical models had predicted. But this was just the beginning. What none of them knew, not even Sarah, was that their quantum experiments had caught the attention of forces far beyond Earth. Their breakthrough wasn't just scientific, it was about to reshape humanity's place in the galaxy. As Zaraval's report reached the Federation Council, emergency sessions were convened across the galaxy. The humans had achieved something unprecedented, and no one was quite sure how to respond. The rules that had governed galactic society for millennia hadn't accounted for a species like this. In the Council's primary chamber on the Federation capital world, ancient beings of various forms debated the implications. Some advocated for immediate intervention to contain the potential threat before it grew beyond control. Others argued for observation and cautious contact. But all agreed on one thing: humanity could no longer be ignored. They had crossed a threshold that changed everything. The question now was whether this change would lead to cooperation or conflict. Back on Earth, Sarah and her team continued their work, unaware of the storm they had triggered in the galaxy's highest circles. As the quantum core hummed with energy, humanity took its first steps toward a future that would challenge the very foundations of galactic society. The silent watchers above continued their vigilance, knowing that what they witnessed now would echo through the centuries to come. Humanity had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. Last edited 3 minutes ago, 3 months after the initial discovery, Earth's quantum research facilities had multiplied exponentially. What began in the American Southwest had spread across the globe as humanity raced to understand and implement their newfound knowledge. The Federation's observation vessels now tracked dozens of major research centers, each pushing the boundaries of what should have been possible. Zaraval stood before the Federation Council, her crystalline form refracting light across the Grand Chamber as she delivered her latest report. "The humans have begun weaponizing their quantum technology," she stated, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. "But not in the way we expected." The holographic display behind her showed Earth's first quantum shield array coming online over a major city. Unlike conventional energy shields, these defenses operated on principles that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. They didn't just block incoming attacks, they prevented them from ever existing in their target space. "They're manipulating probability itself," explained Zaraval. "Their shields don't stop attacks. They make it mathematically impossible for them to succeed." The council chamber erupted in murmurs of disbelief. Even the oldest members, beings who had witnessed millennia of technological advancement, struggled to grasp the implications. Humanity hadn't just discovered new technology. They had found a way to rewrite the rules that governed reality itself. On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the control center of the Singapore Quantum Defense Initiative, watching as the city's shield grid hummed to life. Beside her, military liaison Colonel David Marcus studied the readouts with intense focus. "The probability field is stable," Sarah reported, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "We're achieving 99.9% coverage across the metropolitan area." David nodded, his expression thoughtful. "And the power consumption?" "Minimal. Once the quantum fields are established, they're almost self-sustaining. It's like they want to exist." That was what made their breakthrough so revolutionary. Traditional physics said this should be impossible, that maintaining such fields would require enormous energy. But their quantum systems seemed to tap into something more fundamental, as if they were convincing the universe itself to cooperate. High above, those sensors recorded everything, feeding data back to the Federation's most advanced analysis systems. "Commander," he called to Zaraval, who had returned to her observation post. "They're expanding the SHIELD network, not just Singapore. We're detecting similar installations beginning in 12 other major cities." Zaraval watched the data stream in, her crystalline form vibrating with tension. The humans were moving faster than anyone had predicted. Their ability to translate theoretical breakthroughs into practical applications was unprecedented in galactic history. But it wasn't just their speed that worried her. It was their approach. Where other species had used quantum mechanics to build better computers or more efficient engines, humans were using it to reshape reality itself. They weren't playing by the rules. They were changing them. In a classified facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, another team of scientists led by Dr. Marcus Wong had made an even more startling breakthrough. They had discovered that the same principles that powered their defensive shields could be applied offensively, not to destroy, but to simply deny an enemy's existence in a given space. "It's not a weapon in the traditional sense," Marcus explained to a panel of military leaders. "It's more like enforcing our version of reality over someone else's." The implications were staggering. Traditional weapons became meaningless against an enemy who could simply declare your attack impossible. The entire paradigm of warfare would have to be reconsidered. The Federation Council was reaching the same conclusion. In an emergency session, the eldest members gathered to discuss options. Some advocated for immediate intervention, arguing that allowing humans to develop these technologies further would destabilize the entire galaxy. Others counseled patience. "We need to understand how they're doing this," argued Council Elder Kareth, her energy form pulsing with emphasis. "They've discovered something fundamental that we've missed, something that challenges our entire understanding of reality." Meanwhile, Earth's quantum shield network continued to grow. Cities across the planet were now protected by fields that bent probability itself to ensure their safety. And in laboratories and research centers, scientists like Sarah Chen and Marcus Wong pushed the boundaries even further. What none of them fully grasped yet was that their discoveries were about to trigger a crisis in the galaxy's power structure. The Federation had maintained peace for millennia based on technological superiority and careful control of advanced weapons. Now, a young species had found a way to bypass that entire system. As Zar Aval compiled her latest report, she included a personal observation. The humans aren't just advancing their technology. They're redefining what technology means. They don't see quantum mechanics as a tool to be used, but as a fundamental language they can use to negotiate with reality itself. The Federation Council would soon have to make a decision. Humanity could no longer be simply observed and contained. They had become something unprecedented in galactic history, a species that could rewrite the rules that everyone else had to follow. As the quantum shields shimmered invisibly above Earth's cities, humanity continued its work, unaware that their innovations had brought them to the brink of either a new golden age or an interstellar conflict unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The next move would determine which path their future would take. The Federation's diplomatic vessel emerged from quantum space above Earth's atmosphere, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight in impossible patterns. After months of debate, the Council had finally decided. Humanity would be given a choice. Dr. Sarah Chen stood alongside world leaders in the hastily assembled reception chamber in Geneva, watching as the alien delegation materialized before them. Leading them was a towering crystalline being who introduced herself as High Ambassador Xareth, her form shifting colors as she spoke. "Humanity," she began, her words translated by advanced systems. "Your recent technological achievements have not gone unnoticed. The Federation has watched your progress with great interest and concern." The room remained silent as Xareth's form pulsed with subtle lights. "Your manipulation of quantum mechanics has exceeded anything we believed possible for a species at your stage of development. This presents us with a unique challenge." President Helena Martinez of the United Earth Coalition stepped forward. "We were unaware of being watched, Ambassador. Perhaps if the Federation had chosen to make contact earlier, we could have established a dialogue." "That was considered," Kareth responded, her crystalline form flickering with what might have been amusement. "But observation is our way. We have guided the development of countless species across millennia. Never have we encountered one that progressed as unpredictably as yours." Commander Zaraval, standing behind Xareth, studied the humans intently. She had watched them for months, but this was her first direct interaction. Their composure in the face of such an overwhelming revelation was remarkable. "We come with an offer," Xareth continued. "Join the Federation. Submit your quantum research to our oversight. In return, we will share knowledge accumulated over millions of years. Your species will advance, but in a controlled, stable manner." Dr. Chen felt her hands clench involuntarily. "And if we decline?" Xareth's form darkened slightly. "Then we must take steps to ensure the stability of galactic civilization. Your approach to quantum mechanics is too dangerous to remain unchecked. You don't just use technology, you reshape reality itself. This cannot be allowed to continue without supervision." Colonel David Marcus, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. You mean you're afraid we'll surpass you? The statement hung in the air, bold and unprecedented. No emerging species had ever dared to speak to the Federation with such directness. Fear is irrelevant, Tar-Eth responded, though her form flickered noticeably. What matters is stability. Order. The careful advancement of civilization according to established patterns. Patterns you control, President Martinez noted. Ambassador, humanity has always charted its own course. We've made mistakes, learned from them, and grown stronger. We won't surrender our independence, even for the promise of advanced knowledge. In orbit, Federation warships began emerging from quantum space, their massive forms casting shadows over Earth's cities. It was a show of force meant to emphasize the seriousness of their ultimatum. But something unexpected happened. As the Federation ships took position, their sensors detected a strange distortion in the quantum field surrounding Earth. The humans' defensive shields weren't just operating, they were evolving. Dr. Marcus Wong's voice came through on a secure channel to the Geneva chamber. The quantum grid is responding to their presence, adapting its probability fields automatically. It's learning. This was precisely what had worried the Federation Council. Human technology didn't just function, it grew, evolved, adapted in ways that defied conventional understanding. Their quantum shields were becoming more than mere defensive systems. They were becoming almost alive. You have one planetary rotation to consider our offer, Tar-Eth declared. Choose wisely. As the Federation delegation prepared to return to their ship, Commander Zara Val lingered for a moment, her crystalline form dimming to match the room's lighting. You should know, she said quietly to Dr. Chen, that not all of us agree with this approach. Your species has achieved something remarkable, something that could change everything we thought we knew about reality itself. After the delegation departed, Earth's leaders gathered in emergency session. The quantum shield network continued to evolve, becoming stronger and more complex with each passing hour. In laboratories across the planet, scientists worked frantically to understand and enhance these unexpected developments. Dr. Chen stood before the Emergency Council, presenting her findings. Our quantum systems aren't just defensive anymore. They're creating new possibilities, new ways of interacting with reality. It's as if, she paused, searching for the right words, as if we're not just playing the game anymore. We're rewriting its rules. President Martinez studied the data with a grim expression. Can we defend ourselves if they choose to attack? I believe we can do more than that, Dr. Chen replied. We can show them a completely new way of existing in this universe, one that doesn't rely on control and hierarchy, but on adaptation and growth. As the deadline approached, humanity prepared its response. They would not submit to Federation control, but neither would they seek conflict. Instead, they would offer something unprecedented, a demonstration of what their quantum technology could truly achieve. The next 24 hours would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of galactic civilization itself. Humanity stood ready to prove that there was more than one path to the stars, more than one way to shape reality itself. The Federation warships hung in Earth's orbit like crystalline daggers, their presence a constant reminder of the choice humanity faced. But beneath the surface of this tense standoff, something unprecedented was occurring. Earth's quantum shield network had evolved beyond anything its creators had imagined, forming patterns and connections that defied conventional physics. In a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Marcus Wong stared at his displays in amazement. The entire network is becoming more than the sum of its parts, he reported to the Emergency Council. It's not just protecting us anymore, it's creating something entirely new. The quantum field surrounding Earth had begun to exhibit properties that even humanity's breakthrough understanding couldn't fully explain. It wasn't just bending probability. It was weaving new possibilities into the fabric of reality itself. But not everyone in the Federation was willing to wait and see what humanity would do with this power. A faction led by Admiral Kexlar had decided to take matters into their own hands. Their plan was simple: a decisive strike to disable Earth's quantum network before it could evolve further. We cannot allow them to continue this unchecked evolution, Kexlar declared to his loyal commanders. The Council's diplomatic approach will doom us all. Commander Zaraval, monitoring from her observation post, detected the rogue faction's preparations. Her crystalline form vibrated with alarm as she transmitted an emergency warning to both the Council and Earth's defenders. "They're activating quantum destabilizers," she reported. "They mean to shatter your entire defensive network." But even as Kexlar's ships moved into attack position, something extraordinary happened. Earth's quantum shield network didn't just respond to the threat. It transcended it. The defensive grid began operating on multiple levels of reality simultaneously, making it impossible for any single attack to succeed. Dr. Sarah Chen, working with a team of quantum physicists, realized what was happening. The network isn't just defending against their weapons, she explained to Colonel Marcus. It's redefining the context in which those weapons exist. They can't hurt us because, from the shield's perspective, they've never existed in the first place. The Rogue Federation ships launched their attack, firing quantum destabilizers designed to unravel the very fabric of space-time. But as the weapons approached Earth, they encountered something unprecedented. The quantum shield network didn't just block their attacks. It absorbed them, learned from them, and grew stronger. Impossible. Kexlar raged as his sensors showed his weapons having no effect. No defensive system can adapt this quickly. But humanity's quantum network wasn't just a defensive system. It was something entirely new, a living interface between consciousness and reality itself. The more the Federation tried to attack it, the more it evolved, creating new possibilities that even its human creators hadn't imagined. President Martinez, watching from the Emergency Command Center, made a bold decision. "Dr. Chen, can we demonstrate the true potential of our technology? Show them what it means to work with reality rather than try to control it." Sarah nodded, her fingers dancing across the quantum interface. The shield network responded instantly, its field expanding in ways that defied conventional understanding. Instead of just defending Earth, it began reaching out, offering something unprecedented, a bridge between different ways of perceiving and interacting with reality. The Federation ships suddenly found themselves enveloped in a quantum field unlike anything they had encountered before. It didn't attack them or try to disable their systems. Instead, it showed them possibilities they had never imagined, ways of existing that transcended their ancient hierarchies and controls. "Look at this," Zaraval breathed, her crystalline form resonating with the new quantum frequencies. "They're not just manipulating reality. They're expanding it, creating space for different truths to coexist." Even Kexlar and his rogue faction couldn't ignore what they were witnessing. Their weapons, designed to impose one version of reality, were useless against a system that could accommodate multiple realities simultaneously. As the quantum field continued to evolve, Dr. Wong made another startling discovery. "The network isn't just defending Earth anymore," he reported. "It's creating a new kind of space, one where conflict becomes impossible because every perspective can exist without threatening the others." The Federation Council, watching these events unfold, realized they were witnessing something that would change galactic civilization forever. Humanity hadn't just developed new technology. They had found a way to transcend the very concepts of conflict and control that had defined galactic politics for millennia. "Stand down," came the Council's order to Kexlar's fleet. "We are witnessing something unprecedented, something that requires understanding, not fear." As the rogue ships withdrew, Earth's quantum network continued to evolve, its field now extending far beyond the planet's atmosphere. It offered not just protection, but possibility, a glimpse of a future where different species could coexist without the need for dominance or control. The breaking point had come and gone, but instead of shattering, reality itself had expanded. Humanity had shown the galaxy a new way forward, one that promised to transform everything the Federation had believed about power, progress, and the nature of existence itself. In the aftermath of the failed attack on Earth, the galaxy found itself at a crossroads. The Federation's council chamber, usually a place of measured debate and careful diplomacy, buzzed with unprecedented energy as representatives from across the galaxy gathered to witness something historic: humanity's first official address to the assembled species of the Federation. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the vast assembly, her presence a symbol of how far humanity had come in such a short time. Behind her, a demonstration of Earth's quantum field technology created patterns of impossible beauty in the air, a living demonstration of what was possible when one worked with reality rather than trying to control it. "We come before you not as supplicants or as conquerors," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber, "but as pioneers of a new way of existing in this universe. What we've discovered isn't just a new technology. It's a new understanding of reality itself." The quantum field surrounding her pulsed gently, responding to her words and emotions. Many of the assembled representatives leaned forward, their various sensory organs focused intently on the display. They had never seen quantum mechanics behave this way, as something alive, responsive, almost conscious. "Our quantum network has evolved beyond our original intentions," Sarah continued. "It's shown us that reality isn't something to be controlled or dominated. It's a conversation, a dance between consciousness and possibility. And there's room in that dance for all of us." Commander Zaraval, now serving as a bridge between humanity and the Federation, added her own observations. "In all my centuries of watching emerging civilizations, I've never seen anything like this. Humanity hasn't just advanced. They found a completely new path forward." The evidence was undeniable. In the weeks since the failed attack, Earth's quantum field had continued to evolve, but not in the way anyone had expected. Instead of becoming more powerful as a weapon, it had become more inclusive, more collaborative. It could now interface with any technology, any form of consciousness, creating spaces where different laws of physics could coexist without conflict. President Martinez, addressing the council remotely through a quantum link that made her appear as real as if she were physically present, outlined humanity's proposal. "We offer to share our understanding, not as a controlled technology to be doled out by the Federation, but as a new way of thinking about our relationship with reality itself." The council chamber erupted in discussion. This was unprecedented. No species had ever refused Federation oversight while simultaneously offering to share their discoveries freely. It challenged everything about how the galaxy had operated for millennia. Dr. Marcus Wong, working from his facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, demonstrated the practical applications. The quantum field could solve resource conflicts by creating spaces where different needs could be met simultaneously. It could bridge seemingly incompatible technologies, allowing ancient and new systems to work together in harmony. "The field doesn't just protect or destroy," he explained to the amazed observers. "It expands possibility itself. Where we once saw conflict, we can now see opportunity. Where we saw limitation, we now see potential." Even former Admiral Kexlar, who had led the attack on Earth, found himself transformed by the experience. "I sought to prevent what I saw as a threat to order," he admitted to the council. "Instead, I discovered that true order comes not from control, but from embracing the endless possibilities of existence." The Federation was changing. Ancient hierarchies and careful controls were giving way to something new. A galactic civilization where advancement wasn't measured by dominance, but by understanding. Earth's quantum technology had shown them that reality itself was far more flexible, far more accommodating than they had imagined. As the council deliberated, Earth continued to develop its network. Cities around the planet were becoming testing grounds for new ways of existing, where quantum fields allowed for seemingly impossible things to coexist harmoniously. The technology was evolving not toward greater destructive power, but toward greater understanding and possibility. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," High Ambassador Ktarith declared, her crystalline form shimmering with complex emotions. "Humanity has shown us that we've been asking the wrong questions all along. Instead of asking how to control reality, we should have been asking how to work with it. The final decision was unprecedented in Federation history. Earth would neither be controlled nor isolated. Instead, it would become a center for a new kind of galactic civilization, one based not on hierarchy and control, but on exploration and possibility. As Sarah Chen looked out over the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds, she felt the quantum field responding to the moment, creating patterns that represented the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. Humanity had done more than survive its first contact with galactic civilization. It had transformed it. This is not an ending, she concluded her address, but a beginning. We have found our way to the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as pioneers of possibility. The universe is not a resource to be controlled, but a partner in the dance of existence, and that dance is only beginning. As the quantum field shimmered around her, its patterns echoing through the council chamber and across the galaxy, the truth was clear to all who witnessed it. The age of control was over. The age of possibility had begun. And humanity, the species that had dared to rewrite the rules of reality itself, would help lead the way into this new dawn.